And joining me live is someone who I know agrees with this view because he's been saying it for many years. Yashovardhan Azad is one of India's best known veteran IPS officers. He's been at the forefront of public service his entire career. Mr. Azad, welcome. I saw your post on social media earlier, and I know this is not the first time you've said it, and you feel very strongly about it, and you speak from a place of, being someone who has been in public service all your life. So you have that locus standi to hold this opinion, sir. I may or may not because I'm a journalist, but you believe that the vice president's post and the governor's post should be abolished.
Shiv, let me thank you for bringing this debate into the public discourse. And I think this is extremely important because many of us just take things as given. We can't remain prisoners of the past. Today, in modern India, people are questioning every appointment, every institution as to what value it brings to the nation. So while, there might be a great debate on why the vice president resigned or not, but the real crucial issue is, can India, in fact, I'll go further, can India afford a vice president? For example, once is a ceremonial post. In 75 years, for example, there are only twice when Mr. Hidayatullah and Mr. V.V. Giri were brought in to serve as president temporarily. Under Constitution Section 89, it is written that the vice president is the ex officio chairman of Rajya Sabha. But, the actual job, which is usually, if you see the person presiding, is the deputy chairman. If you see the parliamentary system, whether it's in UK, whether it's in Canada, whether it's in Australia, there is no position of a vice president. Look at the kind of expenditure as you have pointed out.
Yes.
As substantive role goes, there is no role the vice president has at all. Why should we have a relic of the past today? Look at, for example, even the governors. Do you need, Shiv, for example, a Supreme Court to say that the governor should pass the bills in time, sign the bills in time? I know the government is upset about it, but why not? I mean, Britain doesn't have a constitution. Britain doesn't have a constitution, and the common sense runs it pretty well. I'll give you another example, a very simple example. We are having delimitation. Now, in delimitation, if we have, as per the norms, we'll have about 850 members of parliament. Now, as per the constitution, if you quote the constitution all the time, it allows you 15% ministers.
Yeah.
So will you have percent that is 120 ministers? For what? What kind of governance are we looking at? And today, when the Prime Minister has laid stress on efficiency, rationalization, I'm saying from governors, Raj Sabha, you should come down to even the cadre posts for IAS, IPS, and all the other institutions which are mere adornments. And it is now that we have to do it because it is extremely
I completely agree with you. This is actually an opportune time to effect this kind of amazing change, and this government has shown the agility to be able to do something like that. We do know, Mr. Azad, that the government has also been trying to get rid of colonial relics that are still part of our, culture and everyday life. Hopefully, this will also be one of those. But since you mentioned the expense, there is an expense to all of these posts as well. And it is substantial. It is not small. Let me bring those figures up because let's talk figures tonight. And then I will come back to Mr. Azad. I have numbers for you, as we always do on India Matters. This is what it actually costs. My team has put this together. The annual cost of one single governor, which is 42 lakhs per year in salary and allowances and about 38 lakhs per year, which is all the other benefits and facilities, travel, housing, security, etc., comes to about 80 lakh rupees per year. That is for one governor. How many governors do we have? We've got 28 governors in this country, which basically means that the annual cost to the Indian exchequer for governors in this country is an incredible 22.4 crore rupees. 22.4 crore rupees, and this is a conservative estimate. I'm not even going into the cost of housing and other benefits that they get. Let's go on to what the vice president gets. 48 lakh rupees per month in salary and allowances, about 24 lakh rupees in all the other emoluments and benefits. That's about 72 lakhs rupees per year. So if you combine the annual cost to the Indian exchequer, the Indian public taxpayer, of 28 governors plus one vice president, it is 22.4 crore plus 72 lakhs, that is 23.12 crore rupees. That is a small, very conservative figure of what one vice president and 28 governors costs the Indian taxpayer annually. Yashovardhan, Azad, I have a feeling it is 23 crores is an eye-watering number when we talk about salaries. But we are also talking about a very, very conservative estimate. The actual cost, if you go into it, would be many multiple times 23 crore rupees if you take everything into account. And when you get into these numbers, this is crazy.
Shiv, we are talking about deployment of the administrative structure from outside.
Yeah.
What about the policemen? What about the cars, infrastructure, petrol, travels abroad? And I have traveled with the vice president as the chief security liaison officer. I know the kind of arrangements which have to be made. And I'm sure somebody else can do that very job. I mean, in a much better manner, who has the executive responsibility for it. The other thing, Shiv, which is extremely important is that what value politically or socially or economically we are getting by posting the governors. Are they guiding the governments for the state on any issue, or are they having more and more frictions? Look at this debate which has come up in the appointment of university chancellors.
Yes.
There is a massive debate which is going on. Third point, in this age of digitization, do you need British agents? Earlier on, they used to call horses and then give messages and things like that. Here you can do in seconds. So everything which a parliamentary system can do from Delhi, you don't need a governance system to be there and only create roadblocks. So I think it's time now to at least seriously decide over these issues. And it's extremely important to do it now and not later.
The argument, Mr. Azad, bringing this discussion nearly to a close, is that we don't need vice presidents and governors because there are existing systems and structures that can perform, procedural functions, as it were. The ceremonial aspect of it is an excessive luxury which India can ill afford and does not need because it is a relic from the past. Can you explain to us, as a former public servant, someone who's been in the system, and like you rightly said, you've traveled with the vice president, etc., who specifically would do the work of the vice president from within the system or the governors then?
See, all the vice president substantially he does the work of the Rajya Sabha, because he's the ex-officio chairman. You see the parliamentary system in other places. Even in UK, for example, the House of Lords chooses its speaker as one of its peers. So similarly, if the deputy chairman of the Rajya Sabha is there to perform all the functions, and it is given in 89(1) of the Constitution. As far as the ceremonial role is concerned, all the ceremonial roles a vice president can do if the president is not there. And that is why there is a blue book also for his security, which says anything for the president should be done for him because he's the number two in the system. But another important thing, Shiv, which I want to tell you. See, the vice president is elected by the MPs.
Yes.
And you are arrogating him the number two position in the country. The president is virtually elected by the representatives of the entire country.
Correct.
So there is a lot of difference. So all the roles which the vice president is performing now can be performed by the substantive work by the deputy chairman Rajya Sabha, and all the ceremonial roles are rightly being performed by the president, who's also the chief of the armed forces and definitely the number one person of the country. In that respect, there should be a serious debate today whether we need the vice presidents and the governors.
Yeah, all governments have wanted their babysitters in each state, Mr. Azad. You know this very well. Do you think any party, as far as I am concerned, the current government is probably in the best position to make this kind of a difficult change. But do you think anybody would want to do that? The governor is a nice cozy post. You have your guy sitting in every state. If things go in an uncomfortable direction, you have a babysitter at hand. Nobody will want to change that, sir.
Yes, I think is the best post for the politicians who want to take a break or who are disgruntled or who have been put aside, and also bureaucrats and the policemen, all the and the military men.
Yeah.
So yes, it's going to be a difficult exercise, but I think it's time when you think in a rational manner, it should go.
Let's hope so. I think we can both agree that India has moved on in so many amazing ways. This is certainly one that we should at least debate and consider, if not do it outright. Yashovardhan, Azad, always a pleasure, sir. Thank you very much for being with me here tonight on India Matters.